welcome. Do you like that? I'm just messing around with some of the webcam settings here, sitting in this dark hallway, trying to film them, make it look a little bit less gloomy than it is. Welcome to the show. It's Tuesday. Normally this is where we would be recapping the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, sometimes with our buddy Jared over at Pretty Dumb Podcast. But unfortunately, the season is done. We finished, we crowned 2 new winners for this All-Star Season 4. We have Monet Exchange and Trinity the Tuck. New episodes will be airing on February 28th, so at that point we will be back for Season 11 to do a little bit more recapping with you guys. Until then, we're doing something a little differently today. A few years ago, my buddies Janae and Jared, we formed this little group called JEJ Cuz, and we decided we were going to film some like sketch comedy type stuff together. So one of the ones that we did, the only one that we actually managed to do, was a script that I wrote called House Tour. It takes you on this tour of this eccentric person in their crazy house. I gotta say, I'm horrible at memorization, so even though I wrote the script and Janae directed the script, the shoot, I was horrible at my lines. So there was a lot of like take after take after take just to get each of these little line sections done. And with each line, there was a new character that was being done as well. So that took a little bit of like, on my part. But so for those of you listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to enjoy the full craziness of it. So I definitely recommend you flip on over to the YouTube station as well. Hunt us down, The Taylor Dillon Show, and check it out there because it is a crazy video. You will enjoy it, I'm sure. This is House Tour.
This week on Just Cuz House Tours, we're paying a visit to home of Eric, an eccentric islander who lives in one of these houses. No.
Yoo-hoo! Richard, darling, over here! Yes, you right there behind the camera, yes, come on over, come, yes, you are at the right house, yes, this is my house.
Hi.
Hello, darling, hello, it is so nice to have you here. I don't often have visitors since my directions are horrible and I don't remember my own address half the time. Please, come in.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, come in. Yes.
Thank you. I managed to get your address off your Foursquare check-in. You check in here a lot.
Oh, yes. Once I learned that you could become mayor simply by checking in, I said, if anyone's going to become mayor of my house, it should be me, right? Please come in. Yes, welcome to my home. Stop! Please take off your shoes before you enter.
My shoes?
Yes. I just had the carpets cleaned. You understand, don't you? This is fine carpetry here. My carpets, I don't want to get them dirty. Come. We begin the tour in the main part of the house. My grandfather built this house. It's been in my family for as long as I can remember.
How long ago did he build this?
Last month. Took him ages to finish it. Second attempt.
Second attempt.
Yes, well, the first time they had it all wrong. The blueprints were upside down. The floor was on the ceiling was on the floor. It's a wonder they were able to keep any of the water in the toilet bowl.
Are these your parents?
Yes. Mother and father. Yes, this is mother and father. Well, I mean, that's not really them. I mean, can you imagine how mean that would be to shrink them down and put them in a little picture on a table? Help! Help! I'm all small and stuck in a picture. Help! Oh, you want to see the kitchen? The kitchen. Pow pow. Where we do all our cooking. I wanted this to be as my own personal space. I rather like the windows. Where you can look out. But Mother insisted since the stove is in here, so should the cooking be done in here.
Well, that sounds reasonable. Your mother's suggestion, that is.
Does it? I thought it sounded a little crazy, so I had her locked up.
You had your mother locked up?
Well, when you put it that way, you make me sound like a monster. I made sure she had a bed, dining services. You want to see the living room? The living room, where we do all of our living. Grandfather says to me, Sarah, that's what he calls me, Sarah. Sarah, he says, one day I shall die in here.
Your grandfather wants to die in here?
It's a silly thing to say, I know it is. I mean, can you imagine you dies in here? We'll have to change the whole name of the room. It'll become the death room. Come, sleep with me in the death room. Tonight we shall entertain in the death room. Let's take tea in the death room.
I see your point.
Do you really? Most people don't get my point. You want to see my bedroom? It's the best room in the house. Scarves everywhere. I love scarves. Aren't these things pretty? I got this one in Morocco. Come. See this painting? It's a Van Gogh. He painted this in 1980, just before he killed himself. Or after, I'm not really sure which.
Didn't he die in 1890?
I don't believe that to be true. I think that was a myth started up by some museum somewhere to try and jack up the prices. Let's go into my room. It's my favorite room in the house. It's like Narnia in here. Welcome to my boudoir. Well, I think the better question is, what is this camera person doing here? And what am I doing here?
I think we should go.
I think that's a good idea. Get out of my house!
Some people just don't appreciate a good random house tour.
So I take it that's not really your parents?
Probably not. They do look a bit on the Asian side of it. Oh God, we're gonna die in here. Nice meeting you.